Okay, thank you. First, let's invite James. Let's have James share with us his mapping project, the draft, the first draft. Very impressive.
Okay, so I have 3 layers here. The first is unemployment in Los Angeles County in a divergent color scheme by census tract against the mean unemployment for the county. So that's the chloropleth. Then I have the metro lines and their proposed extensions. That's kind of like the, let's see if I can annotate, these like dashed lines over here. That's like the purple line extension that's going to go along Wilshire. This one's the Crenshaw corridor, and that's an extension of the green line through Torrance. And then I have a heat map of basically work site clusters in Los Angeles, places that are more than 1 standard deviation above the mean number of work sites within a quarter mile of each intersection in Los Angeles City. You can see I don't have Santa Monica, I don't have Culver City data. But I guess my question for everybody is how to layer these things better, where I can still convey all the information, but it doesn't, I don't know, seem so conflicting or things are covering each other. I'm finding it very hard to do, like how transparent each thing should be, or if there's better ways to kind of like make the lines more visible. Any tips or tricks would be very helpful.
Richard asked this question. Can you define work sites?
They went around and they took every intersection in LA and they basically counted the number of jobs that people had. So it's not necessarily work sites, but employment count by intersection. So LA GeoHub has an intersection data file, and then you can join attributes to the attribute table if you want. It's point data.
So basically that is each intersection, how many work sites there?
Mm-hmm.
It's
yeah.
a number.
Yeah, I guess how many jobs are in each place? Not necessarily like current openings, but just how many jobs in general to give an idea of where employment is in LA. So basically my question that I wanted to observe with this map is whether or not these proposed LA Metro line extensions would be connecting people who are currently unemployed or more unemployed areas of Los Angeles with the job clusters. Would it help or would it not?
Okay, yeah. So basically that is the number of jobs at each intersection, and he basically ran a heat map and to highlight those places. Because he doesn't have the data for Santa Monica, Culver City, just LA, like a dense map. So we just see those hotspots basically. So we're missing Santa Monica, but that's okay. His idea is just to to relay that to the public transportation. Specifically, that is our railways. So you can see he basically used the dash line to highlight those extensions, the proposals, and see whether those extensions can get people to those job sites, basically. Yes. And
the
William,
chloropleth map, the tan map is how each block differs from the mean unemployment. Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Orange, the orange colors, like dark orange would be higher unemployment than the mean, and then the purple lower.
Yeah, William have this suggestion. The unemployment rate, I think, should be cut to only include Los Angeles. What do you think, guys?
Like recalculate the mean for Los Angeles City?
No, I think his point is because we just have the Los Angeles data, the working sites. So maybe unemployment rate should be we just map out Los Angeles City, not don't include Santa Monica, Culver City, etc.
So run another, like add to the SQL or the query to only show census tracts that are coded for LA. cities.
Yes, I think that that is
Jay-
his point. Do you agree or you don't agree?
Won't it make the map look like worse because it will be like in parts, not like a total one thing?
Right, and my concern is, well, LA also attract people from, you know, the surrounding the cities, even abroad, like Jane, right? So I think we could actually leave it as it is. You know, unemployment rate, other places like people living in Pasadena, right, Culver City, many people also work in Los Angeles, the city. We are greater Los Angeles area, including people from Orange County. They may come back, right? It's a long commute, but they may, you know, go to Los Angeles, you know, to find a job. That's my opinion on this. But William said, yeah, I totally get it, because you know, the data, we should, you know, just use one area, the study area. It's up to you, James. It's up to you.
Yeah, it's a good point. I'm also interested about the scope of the map. If it's better to just really zone in on the extensions themselves, or if it's necessary to, like, you know, cover most of the county, more of the county. Like, what's more appropriate?
Personally, I like this way. I don't know. Let's listen to other people's what's the other ideas.
Well, it does show the extension going right through the, you know, the high unemployment area. So
Yeah.
that's probably pretty valuable.
Yeah. You can argue, you can make your map, the theme, be more specific about extension. For example, you can use a shadow or overlay another layer beneath it, beneath those extensions to highlight. So your title would be how those extensions help, you know, boost the employment rate in LA, something like that.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the idea of a heat map instead of, because they're individual intersections, right? Wouldn't it be like, maybe you could do a size bubble depending on the number of jobs in that intersection, right? Or is that too granular to fit on the map? I don't know.
Well, I guess it counts every intersection. So I kind of experimented with, and I've been experimenting this afternoon with putting all the points, maybe giving them transparent boundaries, different things. But essentially, if you label all the points, it's almost the same as a heat map. Maybe I could make a proportional, you know, circles, and just like, so you see how the heat map has kind of like created a number of more or less circles on the map. Maybe I could just transform those into, you know, just little circles showing the clusters, as opposed to these amorphous, you know, clouds. That's reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really heat. I mean, it's pretty much all orange, right? All yellow. There's not much fall off, right? So it's like, what are you getting out of it?
That's a good point.
I think, James, you can adjust the color, the ranges. Try to pull out the histogram of your heat map, and then you can use the most color range, you know, the variation to show the majority of the data, of the value. And then you may have some outlier, you know, in downtown, that area, that actually mess up your color scheme.
Are you
and
saying adjust this slider beneath the symbology?
Let me annotate. I think this also work for, you know, other people may also have this problem. So when you open the data, the heat map, can you right click on the heat map, go to symbology? Yes. Okay, so you can see this is your symbology heat map. Where is the? Oh, there should be a. Okay, can you open the worksite heat map and go to attribute table? Yes. Okay, so this is how you look at the distribution of your data. So let's see. It should be where it is the employment count. Is that column you're using?
Yep, that's
okay,
correct.
right click on that. Okay, and
Statistics?
go to, yes, statistics.
Wow, I did this all in Excel. I could have just done it in the program. That's fun.
Yeah, so you can see it's not a normal distribution, right? You can see here, hold on. You can see here you have the majority of the data right here, right? So when you, well, if you use a color range, for example, from blue to orange, from blue to red, let me use blue. It's hard to draw here. Okay, so for example, here you use blue, and here, well, if you take the full range, your red will be here. So you can see majority of the data right here. This part will be assigned as what? As blue. So you don't want to do that because your data is not normal distribution. You have an outlier, you know, mess up your color range. So my suggestion is you move this red all the way to maybe here, you know, and then use this part. You can see, you will see more color variation because your red is right here. If it reached to like 20,000, okay, I will give it like red. Other things is just beyond the red, right? You can give it like a purple, or you just give it whole red because it's just the outlier. Do you get my idea?
Well, yeah, so on the symbology, I have these labels 0 and 1 for sparse to dense. If I wanted to get rid of those outliers, do I move the 0 up or do I move the 1 down?
You can do this. Let's go to symbology, right click. Oh, we're here, okay? So let's see. You probably can double click on here, on the color range somewhere, like on the side, double click. Can you add one more stop? Just click on here, just here.
I can only slide, but I can't. Oh,
you cannot add a stop.
Maybe. It's a huge data set, so it might take a while.
Okay.
Doesn't look like it.
Okay. Or let's slide this one up. Let's see. Yeah.
Professor.
Make it really yellow.
Yes.
On a QGIS, I know you go to transparency and you just, where is a data range, there's a box you can put 0 and you check that box, it means that 0 data will not be displayed. So you can clean data like that. I'm sure ArcGIS Pro has the same feature. Yeah.
I think, yes, you have the 0, you know, the exclusion basically. And it's, well,
it might be easier than all this, you know, so.
Yeah, well, here in ArcPro, yes, you can check a box called exclude, and you can exclude certain values you don't want to show. So James, do you see the data, the variation changes?
Not sure.
Yeah, so you can see, oh, okay. Because I think this will fix the problem. So you can see here, you will use this range to display the data, the density from 0 to 0.5-ish, right? So you can see if your data vary within this range, you will be very colorful. Other, you know, high values will be just displayed as yellow. So, but I don't see it changes here. It should be just have, you know, like a bull's eye, you know, bull, the cow. And
yeah, I think I need to drop the yellow probably even further. No, I'm not sure. I'll play around with it.
Yeah, play around.
But it's a good idea.
Yeah, but this is idea, you know, people, if you see your data is like this, it's totally skewed. You want to use more color, you know, to display this range. So basically you will drag your upper limit data, the color for that upper limit, and all the way to here, basically exclude those outliers. But the manager solution is maybe sometimes we can just kick it out. You know, I think there's one setting somewhere, I need to find it, to exclude, you know, displaying those data if it's, you know, just some error or something. Okay, yeah. So this is one trick. Any other suggestions you want to, oh, here, we have the chat box, sorry. Okay, Ira said, what is purple? Purple is high, low.
Yeah, low unemployment in comparison to the mean.
Yeah. Okay, so the heat map shows where jobs are, yes. Okay, and Faye asked, the darker base map might make it stand out more.
Good point. I can try it.
Yeah, you could try, because your data, your map, the theme is very colorful. Maybe a dark background, like dense Nova, the base map. I think it's very suitable. Yes. Okay. And Richard said, purple is unemployment rate.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. So that is
the chloropleth map is the
is
unemployment rate, divergent.
Right. Okay, Hunter said, this is a different critique, but the expo line goes all the way to Santa Monica now, not ending at Culver City. Yes, you probably need to update your data, James.
I took it from their website, but if not, I'll just plot the rest of the line myself.
Well, here, no, you have the data. Let me share with you. I downloaded already. Yes.
Well, I took it over the weekend. Here is Expo line.
I think it's called metrola.org something.
From what I know from Metro website, they don't update currently. It's either they update every 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't necessarily rely on that. But I know that there's a website called like Next Bus, and they tend to be really good at their maps and then show like every bus line. So I would use that compared to using Metro. They're not.
Maybe they got rid of the expo line over the weekend.
Oh no.
Well, maybe to prevent people from going to Santa Monica.
If you need it, let me share with you. I downloaded because I was playing with homeless data. I think somewhere on my computer. Yes, I found that one, the problem too. Yes. Let me share with you, James, later.
Okay.
And let's see. Yeah, the gold line goes all the way to Azusa. Yes.
They're going to extend that one as well.
Yeah.
I think.
And Lauren said, agreed on experimenting with darkening the base map. Since the color are bright, they may really pop out more. Yes. Okay. People like the dark background. Yeah. When you use
for those who made a dark base map, which one did you start with on the arc map, or sorry, on the map or the vector tile editor?
I personally like the dark canvas. I think Dan discovered the Nova, right, Dan?
Yeah, it's called Nova. It's in the it's not the first category. It's the second one. I think it's like, you know, themes or something like that. But it's called Nova.
If you like something actually in the vector tile editor, you can also change the color for all the elements. You can choose a dark background. Change the bright one to a dark one. Yes. Okay. And then here, what color is your base map from William? I think it's very light color.
Yeah, it's like an iteration of canvas.
Yeah.
I think it looks like slightly blue.
Yeah.
And it kind of like when because your unemployment data is like a little bit see-through, it kind of makes things look more blue. Like it's just like a hair, just a tint blue.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. And Ira said, I can't get what's on the background, but it seems to have color scheme similar to the heat map. So the heat map blends in a bit. Yeah, so
Yeah,
maybe
I need to tinker with the base map. The base map throws a lot of things off, including the park colors.
Yeah, so probably you want to change your base map, just to tweak, play with the color. And Faye said, I would also change the orange network line, so that it doesn't blend with the layer below. I think you can just change the theme to dark mode.
Yeah, I wanted to keep these colors because these are, I took like a hex color editor from the Metro website. These are their actual colors.
Yes, standard colors for those lines, right? Yeah, my suggestion for you to make those the railways, the trains, the railway stand out is to overlay another layer beneath it, just like our the base map for Cambridge in Minnesota. You know, you can overlay another white, a little bit wider line beneath your metro line, and then
like a
you
little
can highlight
wider?
it. Yeah, you can highlight it.
Wider. Okay.
So basically you have two layers. One is your purple line, you know, the line itself. And then you have a, you know, another line beneath it. And then it's a little bit wider. So let me draw here. So you can see you have your line here, right? And then you have another one beneath it. It's like this. Oh, let me use another color. Maybe let's do green. Okay. Another line beneath it, but it's a little bit wider. And you can have some like sort of like background or shadow like this. And especially I think they go well with your dark base map.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. No, you've all been very, very generous. I'll let other people have some time because this is great.
Okay, but
thank all of you.
We learned so many things by looking at James' project actually, like the color range, like how to, you know, tweak around your base map and make your map stand out. So that's why today I want to ask James to share with us his project. So yeah, very cool, very cool. Okay, so then Williams.
Yes.
Okay, let's do that. That's exciting map.
Okay. There we go. Yeah, so this is my preliminary layout of, it's kind of like my reference map of the Angeles National Forest. And it's, I've made the layer, I haven't picked a symbol, but I'm gonna put in all the developed campsites that are, and I'm gonna try and rank them by remoteness, which is the distance from basically these roads that we see on the map. And yeah, I don't know.
When I first look at this map, I'm like, I was imagining myself on a helicopter and look through the fog and the haze, you know, from the sky and looking into our Angeles forest, the park. Amazing. Suggestions?
It's very cool. No, it's cool.
It's cool. Brenda says,
Yeah.
beautiful. Very nice. From Lauren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. What is the typeface? I'm not entirely sure of the typeface, but I kind of copied the style from one of what's his name, John
Nelson.
John Nelson. He had some stuff that you could basically kind of like download in terms of style, but there's a lot of like layering of shadows and things like that, which there's for like the border, there's like 3 different layers of that are slightly offset. I don't remember the typeface that I used, but I just wanted to make it really spaced out. Yeah, I don't know.
And Ira said it's a very interesting inset style.
Yeah.
How did you create it? Is it like curve?
How what?
the insight, the inset.
Oh, yeah. If you click on the vertex, you can, and like click on the border of the vertex of your inset map, you can change it to like arc, and to an arc. And there's like a couple different options that you can pick to make your inset map in terms of shaping it. Yeah. I don't know. Oh yeah. So the wilderness.
Yeah, wilderness. I think this color go a little bit off in your legend compared to the wilderness shown on the map. You can see here is a brown. It looks to me like a red. I don't know whether it's a, you know, because of zoom or something.
Yeah. Yeah, the wilderness areas are supposed to be kind of outlined in red. I think it might just be interacting with all the other layers here. So it comes out brown.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that part I've been having trouble with because I have like 3 hillshade layers, and then I also have like an elevation layer that makes the snow, and then I have like a mist layer, and lots of different layers.
Yeah.
So.
And also, Ira said the wilderness area looks like a road. Yeah, that's also my interpretation. When I first look at it, maybe you can, you know, make it a little bit look like a, you know, the boundary. I'm sorry, polygon. And another idea is maybe you can highlight the peaks, you know, like Mountain Wilson and other high peaks on this map. And you can show people, you know, those are the, you know, the highest peaks.
Yeah. Yeah, I was having trouble deciding that because so like Mount Wilson's pretty big, but I was trying to go by prominence, and it just kind of gets really hard to decide. Like the 2 tallest mountains in this region are Mount Baldy and West Baldy, which are joined. There's like only a 10. They're joined together, and there's not much of a saddle in between them. So it's like, okay, I feel like I should.
You can just you know, label Baldy.
Yeah.
I think it's here or somewhere. It's here.
It's like right here. Okay. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but where my mouse is.
And Faith said maybe make the legend stand out a little bit more. Yes, I agree that. And maybe you can, you know, pull that out on the top, above your shadow here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, either larger font or slightly more constructed font color from the background. And this is Brian, I think. Let's see. Brian said, did it by 6 peak challenge? Yes, you know the Southern California 6 peak challenge. I finished 2.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so yeah, could you link the John Nelson's example? That's great. Well, yeah, I think that is maybe you can provide the link to the chat box.
Okay. Yeah. Let me see if I can find it.
Yep. And another suggestion to William's map, I don't know, my personal opinion is to, you know, because the main map, you know, the main mapping area show people the terrain. I don't know. I'm debating in the inset, do we need to show the terrain or not?
Well, it's interesting because on the example that he provided, he didn't do that either. It's just like he did it with a globe.
Yeah. Because it looks, well, feels like it's a, you know, redundant information and to make your inset is really busy. But if we use a very plain map for your inset, that could, you know, it doesn't, you know, go with the entire, the tone, you know, the theme like this. But anyways, it's up to you. Okay, so yeah, here we go. Yes, thanks, William. And the next one is Jade. Jade, are you ready? Okay, here we go. Yay. Introduce your map to us. Jade, are you there? You're muted.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here we go. Yes.
Yes. So this is my map, and very simple. Just I just want to show find out the gun owner rate with shooting, the connection between these two facts or something. Yeah. Yeah. So I use this color, like very extreme, like red or yellow, to represent the gun owner rate. And those dots are representing one case of the mass shooting. And the size, the bigger size are the bigger fatalities. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, so one suggestion to you from Ira is, it will be interesting to see the scatter plot, but not sure it will look good. So basically you want to use x-axis to show, for example, gun ownership, the percentage. And then the y-axis, that is the fatalities for, you know, the states. And then you can see, do they have a, you know, certain positive or negative relationship.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that will be interesting. You can provide, you know, some statistics to enrich your data. So here, that is your gun, and here is your fatalities. So if you see, you know, something like this, that means the higher gun ownership rate will cause, well, not cause, you know, related to high fatalities. So yeah, that's another thing. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. And I like your insets, you know, and also remember one day I shared with, I think the class, how to remove those default notes from Azure. So check that email. If you cannot find it, let me know, okay? You can remove it. It's annoying. Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering, how can I remove it?
You can remove it. You can remove it. And Dan said maybe break down ownership by county, since fatalities are based on cities.
I know that's a pain. I'm not. I was just like, but you are showing pretty localized, like fatalities. It's based on state.
Yeah, I think her data is based on the state, but there's a website called Gun Violence Archive, I think, something like that, .org. You can download the data, I think by counties, and also the fatalities. But I think they have the data from 2016 all the way to 2019 at least. But there's a huge data set to process. Let me know if you want to, you know, bring more data here. I can help you. I did some, you know, preliminary work on that website. Yes.
So when I'm doing this map, is I don't know why it's so slow. Like right now, I can't move like so slow. I wonder if I put more data, does that mean it will become much?
I think that because you're using Citrix, it's not running on your computer. So every time it needs to talk to the Citrix, the server in Santa Monica College, and then go to Baltimore. That's a long distance.
I use Citrix too. It sucks. It takes forever.
Yeah,
it's so slow. Every time, like I feel like so annoying.
But for Jade map, yesterday we did the same thing. We adjust the color range for her data. So she actually have a huge outlier somewhere in Idaho or I don't know, Alabama or somewhere. and we adjust the color range to show, use more color to show the majority of the data. So that's why now you see more variation on your map. Okay, so I see that's the common thing you probably want to, use.
Professor,
common tips you can use. Yeah.
Professor, I know we don't interpret data, but it's interesting to see that gun ownership in the states where it's really high, there is not that many fatalities. Just
That's
looking at the
right.
map.
Yeah,
it's interesting to see that.
exactly. The
There's also
is,
not many people.
right.
Yes, that's true.
Exactly. You can also show people the population density or total population.
Yes, I would love to do, but probably too much information.
Interesting. Yeah. And I like her the projection. You can see she doesn't use the WGS1984. It's Albert's. So because you're showing percentage, right? The size of the states matters, and also especially when you show the population. So we want to use the right projection called Albert's equal area. Albert's equal area. So one thing you will see, how can you tell that is the border between Canada and US that is curved, that not straight. Yes. Okay, so yeah, so that's a Jade map. Nemanja, it's a cool project, and it's a good map already. Yes. Okay, so this is Nemanja's map. Introduce your project first. You're muted. Let me unmute you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so I got my data from USC Socrata or something like that. It's a website for their special institute. And it was particles per million, 2.5. That's, I wrote in upper left corner what is actually PM 2.5. So I got a data, a clean spreadsheet. You helped me with that. That was kind of challenged. I plot them. And then I was looking for some pattern, classification. And then I did heat map and it looked good. And I did that I was mentioning James. I had that problem with the data for zeros and I cleaned that. So then when it comes to plotting the maps, I was more following, scale of kind of Fibonacci sequence. Once you move clockwise, scale is going up. So a viewer can see better where you're at and what's going on. And that was it. By the way, I was producing a lot of maps in a PDF because it gives me better idea where I'm at. Quite often when you're in a layer map view, I don't see very well what is actually what. So my goal was after a while, I start producing maps just to see where I'm at, where I'm moving with the project. So that's about it. You guys have some, feedbacks.
What is it again? What's the map of? I can't read it up there in the corner.
It is a heat map for particulate matter PM 2.5 for 2014 level. Yeah, and there is an explanation what is particulate level.
Cool.
So it's air quality data, and it's a heat map based on pollution for LA County.
Okay, so in the chat box, Faye shared with us another gun violence, the gun deaths, the data. So people, if you are interested, you can look into it. And William said, the different base map, a little confusing. So I think that is, you have a dark, in this case, we have a dark background, and the heat map here is a little also dark. So the contrast, maybe we can improve it.
That's for sure.
Yeah, you can use, I think, James, the color scheme to show. And Paula said, I think maybe you may want to minimize the other two maps on the right. Exactly, that's what I want to say, because I don't really know which one I should look at first. Exactly. Here, people, remember in our class, we are talking about the map elements. This will be your main mapping area, right? Should be the largest. So those two, basically, that is your insets. And here, I don't suggest you to put any schematic information in your insets, like this one. Air quality PM 2.5 count, what's that? That is a monitoring station?
No, I mean, yeah, I can take it off. It's just a count per million.
It's the same count, just wider, further out and zoomed out, right?
Yeah, this is a heat map. I would do like produce a heat map on, and this is a real count. So this gives you a raster density. This is a real count.
Well, I think you can move this layer to this main map. On the insets, we don't want to show people any schematic information. So basically, insets here is to just show people where your mapping area is. And Paula, I think she had a very good suggestion. Those two insets are too big, especially for this one. You can expand it, yes. Okay, and here, let's see. Ira said, I think a light map between two dark ones distract the eyes. Oh, I think she means this one. This one, the color, the color, the top, the theme, you know, doesn't match those two. Is that right? Paula, I'm sorry, Ira, is that what you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, it breaks the whole picture into parts and distracts you to the light one.
And another thing, the manja, if I were you, I won't, that's my personal, you know, preference. I won't, you know, fill the entire map page without any gaps. So I may want to, you know, leave some margin between those maps. So for example, this one can be here, this big, and this one, you know, can be this big, okay? And we have some white margin between different maps, so people's eye can, you know, can rest a little bit. So it's just, no, I won't feel here, you know, that is too busy. I will leave some, you know, gap in between.
Oh, okay.
I see what you're going for with the golden mean there, though.
What?
I said I see what he's going for with the golden ratio of the divide, right? That's what you meant by the Fibonacci.
Yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, the golden ratio. That's a good, yeah, that's a good suggestion. Yes. And let's see, from James, I think, yes. Was there a high concentration near Long Beach? Do you want to map out Long Beach or not? In your mapping area, yes.
It's interesting to me because I don't necessarily see a lot when I look at the top right map, but usually when we think about pollution in LA, we think about Long Beach. So it'd be interesting to me if Long Beach wasn't as much as I thought for this particular matter. I don't know, just in my opinion, it'd be interesting.
The reason why there is not much in Long Beach because it's a wind pattern and the mountain system that blocks the air. So in a coastal area, pretty much the marine layer and air circulation clears the air towards the mountains and it creates that inversion, you know. That's why Long Beach is not that polluted and it should be.
Yep, maybe because the sea breezes will dilute the, you know, the PM 2.5. Okay, and then Brian says, since you are putting boxes around your legend and scale, I would put it around your text too. So make your text a little bit stand out here because you have a, you know, a shadow behind your legend here, and then your text, you can put another background to highlight your text, the text box. Give it a few color. Yes, good suggestion. And Lauren said you may want to put a transparent box behind the paragraphs. Yeah, the same suggestion. That is either a little lighter or darker, so it's more, you know, legible. Kind of like a transparency gray layer we added to the hurricane map. Yes. Okay. And Faye said this will be a really good story map, so you don't have to put everything on one layout. Yes. Later, I'm going to share with you how to create a story map. Okay, and Paula said maybe you can take the yellow color boundary of your data off and at least make it more transparent. Where's the yellow color? You mean?
I meant like you know the red rectangle, like not that, but
one?
the yellow polygon. Yeah. But
Okay.
I also think maybe he could change it to like not include it because I can't even see the different colors of the dots.
Yeah.
Maybe
And
like a bar graph or something.
Right, right.
They can't really tell the different colors from my screen.
I don't think actually, to be honest, this map is necessary. And Namanja, you probably also have a wrong projection for this map. You can see LA is, you know, stretched like this. I think you are still using WGS1984 for this map.
I think it's a NAD. What's the UTM for California?
For this one, maybe, but definitely not for this one. Double check. Because I see LA, you know, stretched like a mochi. All right, good. That is a very good discussion on the Manja's map, and you can see how we can, you know, when you hear from people, from your audience, and you know which part you should, you know, work on. Yes, great. Thanks, everyone. Okay, I'm so excited about your project. Okay, yeah, you many of you have the first draft already, and also your project inspired me on my, you know, teaching. So remember last time we learned, you know, the SpaceTimeCube, right? There's two projects in our class. One is Edwards Black Lives Matter. The protest happened, you know, since May, I think, and across the globe, right? So how about we can use that idea, SpaceTimeCube, to map that out, okay? And another thing is COVID-19, right? COVID-19, how things change over time for different, for example, county, for different census tract in LA, for example. And also, how about crime, right? How about crime? Also related to space and time. So first, let me share with you how to create a SpaceTimeCube in ArcPro, okay? So let me share with you my screen here. Right here. Okay. All right, so let me minimize this one. I have my agenda here. Okay, anyways, this is COVID-19 data since August the 1st. So basically the confirmed case for different county. Oh, should be control. Oh, okay, here we go. Zoom out. Okay, so you can see here, I use a 3D scene to show this. And I have the data for the entire California for different county. So after I made that SpaceTimeCube, you can see, you can tune it. And then you can see here, that is, because the data is huge, I just choose to display from August the 1st to yesterday. Okay, so you can see for LA, you can zoom in, you will see from August the 1st. Okay, and this is the first one. And then we have how many confirmed cases? This many. And then if you move up, you know, the last one, this is confirmed case. Oh, should be this one. Okay, we have this many. Okay, so that is for every county. I could change that to, you know, cubes or other, you know, the shapes, but just want to show you the idea. Okay, You can see Bay Area, you know, have more variation here, okay? So how to do that? Number one, where I download this data, okay? So in addition to mapping living atlas of the world, you have another treasure box. It's the GitHub. Okay, so in GitHub, you can just search here for any data you want. For example, I just, you know, just before our class, I searched Black Lives Matter, and I found this one, but I don't know whether we can download data or not. This is a very cool website to show the protests and other things. You know, you can search for data and also codes and also books, you know, on this website called GitHub. Okay. And John Hopkins, actually they host their data here, okay? So you can see here they have repositories, and you can, repository basically is a database. They store the data over there. So I use this one, CSSE, GIS and data, COVID-19. Let's see, repositories. Overview. Open. Here we go. Yes, okay, this one. Okay, so you can see, you can read down here, okay, their data, and you can also go to CSSE COVID-19 data, and then they have the time series. So that is where I download the, you know, the daily data for US and the globe, I believe. So you can see here. Yes. Okay, so for US and globe, then I just use a definition query to just, you know, limit the data for California. I think they don't have any, you know, detailed count for counties, you know, like LA. Oh, for, I'm sorry, the census tract. Okay, in that, if you need that data, you will need to go to let's see, the Department of Health in Los Angeles, for Los Angeles County, to download their data, okay? So this is what I did. But in order to create this SpaceTimeCube, you need to clean up your data a little bit. So here, this is what I did. Let's open this one, okay? Let me open another data. So from that website, your data is like this. Let me find it here. Maps, SpaceTimeCube, this one, and this one, time series. Oh, this is the original data I download from the GitHub, okay? So you can see originally it organized the data like this. So you have your IDs for different states, right? Okay, for different counties. And then the time is down here, okay? For that's organized in different columns. But in ArcPro, this won't work. This won't work. So let me show you my data here. So that's why I decided to just choose, you know, 7 days. It's just too much. Okay, so here we go. So basically, in order to create this SpaceTimeCube, you will need to move those data. So for example, for United States, we have 51 states, right? For January 22nd, you will have the 51 rows. And then you will repeat those states' name 51 times again, and to put another day. So you will stack those data after, you know, the previous day. Okay, so you can see here in my clean up the data, I will have all these. That is for August the 1st. Okay, and then go here, right? 58, and then after that, you will repeat the state name 58 times again for August the 2nd, and so on. Do you get my idea here, guys? Yes,
Yep.
yes. So you will need to copy that. There is a function in Excel, you know, you need to play with it to automatically transfer those data here. You need to write some code. I won't go to that rabbit hole just for the sake of the time, okay? But if you want to use the SpaceTimeCube in ArcPro, you need to reorganize the data like this, okay? All right, then when you have this table, you know, ready, you are going to use analysis tool, okay? So go to your analysis, go to your tool, and search for SpaceTimeCube here. So you can see you have many tools actually, okay? So you have a visualizing, just visualizing after you create those tube. You also have SpaceTimeCube by aggregating points, okay? And SpaceTimeCube for defined locations. Those two, they're different. They're different for different geographic phenomena, okay? I actually, here, let me explain. This one will work for things like crime, things like, you know, the wildlife, the, you know, the observations, like I think Karen want to map out the gray wolf, you know, in Western states, in Yellowstone, for example. So in different locations, you know, your wolf moves, right? Your crime incidents, they move. So you basically will break your study area into different, for example, hex bin, okay, to count how many wolves show up in that hex bin on the specific time, on the specific day, at specific time, okay? And then you will create a 3D, okay? That is for the, you know, geographic phenomenon, they can move. So you will aggregate those points. Does that make sense, guys? Yes? So your phenomenon can change the location. But for this one, like my case, okay? SpaceTimeCube for defined locations. So my data is organized by counties, right? My county boundary never change, or they change very, you know, slightly, but your county boundary is always there. It's always LA over there. What change is the attributes, right? So what changes the attributes? So in my case, I would use this one. Okay, I will use the defined locations for the from defined locations. For example, Edward want to map out the Black Lives Matter, the protests. He actually have two choices. He can use either way. Number one is if he want to map out, you know, for the entire United States by county, then he will choose this one. If he just want to map out, okay, where those, you know, protests happen, you know, the county doesn't matter. So he basically will just map out the specific location for that protests. Then he will go with this one. Okay, you can first summarize your data, you know, within some defined locations, and you can do either way. Okay, so basically I use the first one, I use the second one. So let me click on that to show you the options. Okay. La la la. While it's loading, let me share with you a, you know, YouTube video. Actually, that's the, you know, explain all these things. Okay, copy, go to the chat. Oh, where's the chat box? Come on, chat. Let me stop share. Oh, here we go. Okay. Space Time Cube video. Okay. This one. Okay. You can. It's like 1 hour long, but start from 8 minutes. Okay. Start from 8. Okay. Something. All right. Okay. So let's see. Okay, here we go. It's loading. It's here, right here. Okay, so you can see your input feature. Oh, I need to share. Your input feature, of course, will be your counties. So here, lesson learned, you need to project your county, okay, with a 2D coordinate system. Originally, I was just using WGS1984, but it doesn't work. Okay, give me some error. So you need to project it. For example, I'm using UTM here. Okay, it's just a county boundary, basically. Okay, and then here, this is your, output location. Okay, where you want to save that SpaceTimeCube. That will create a file with a file extension .nc. Okay, so you can save that in your, geodatabase or just a normal box, just a normal folder. Okay, and your location ID will be an integer. It should be an integer. That's another lesson learned. Okay, should be an integer. So I just copy the geo ID for different county to another new column, into a new column. I define the format as an integer. Okay, so this is a lesson learned. Related table, that is a table we cleaned up. Okay, so here, my sheet 1 from an outside Excel file. Doesn't work. Again, lesson learned. So you need to, after you add your table, go to map, you add the data, right? You can add your Excel here, sheet number 1, $sign from Excel file. Well, you need to right click on the, go to data, export tables. Okay, export it to a standalone table and name it as August confirmed. This table can be used. That table doesn't work. Okay, so here I store that one to a normal folder. I just use this one. Okay, and in this folder, you need to have the same ID because what's happening here, actually, they want to match, different polygon, different state, annotate, okay, different county, they have the ID, right? They have the geo ID, and in your table, you also have the same geo ID. So you can match them together, okay, hook them up, and then you can have 8 data or 10 data, 10 values in my case, okay, 10 days, the confirmed cases for different county, okay? So here, that is basically the table join, okay? So here, I use FIPS, okay, the same as the geo ID in my county level, okay? And here is the temporal aggregation. So for example, if you pull out more data from, Johns Hopkins, the website, you will have the, data on each day, every day, right? If you don't want to display that many days, for example, you want to go with month, okay? You will check this one, temporal aggregation, okay? You can choose to sum your data up by month, okay? Or by year, like that. But in my case, I just have 10 days, so I will check it off, okay? And your time field, that will be in your table, your date. Remember your column in your standalone table, okay? That's a date. Let me open it. That doesn't allow me to open that now. Here, yes, okay? So you opened it, that date, this one, the date, should be a date, the format. You cannot use that as a text or integer or anything else, okay? Should be a date format. So let me show you the field view. Okay, so you can see date should be a date right here. Okay, oh, data type should be a date. Let me clear right here. Okay, should be a date, otherwise it won't work. Okay, and the time step interval, that is, you can summarize your data. Okay, so here you can choose, seconds, minute, hours, days. I choose days, 1 day. Okay, you can use weeks, you can sum them up. Okay, and then here, time step alignment. So basically, when you choose the time interval, that will count backwards or from the beginning. So if you choose the end time, okay, every day, so that will count from, you know, August the 10th, okay, and count it backwards, you know, every 24 hours, every day, okay. In my case, it doesn't matter because my data is organized by days. But what if you have the data organized by hours? So for example, this is 11, you know, 40 p.m. Okay, August the 10th. That is when I update my data. Okay, for that day. Then that will count backwards, you know, every 24 hours. So they will cut off the previous day will be 11:40 p.m. Also August. This is August the 9th, basically. Okay, and so on. If you choose that, if you switch this to the start time, then that will count from August the 1st, you know, August the 1st, 11:40 p.m. and then go, you know, forward, moving later to the later days. Okay, so this is how you cut your time interval, basically. Okay, in my case, it doesn't matter, but if your data is set up, you know, organized by hours, you may want to consider. Okay, okay, so here, and then the fields basically is what I want to display. Okay, so that in my case, that is a confirmed cases. In my case, maybe that is a crime incidents, like Jessica's example, and maybe Black Lives Matter, the protests by, you know, every month or every week. Okay, does that make sense, guys? I run very fast because I want to save some time for our, you know, presentation. But this is how it works. Okay, and then you just hit run. After that, you don't see anything on your map because it just creates the time cube. Okay, the SpaceTimeCube for you. It's an NC file, and then you're going to use the tool. It's a visualize the SpaceTimeCube in 3D. So you will need to convert your map. Okay, convert your 2D map to a 3D, which is very simple actually. You can just go here. You can go right click on this map. Oh, let's see. Right click on this map. Let's see where it is. Convert to 3D scene. I forgot. Oh, here we go. Go to view on the top. Go to view on the top, and you want to convert your map to a local scene. Local scene is for the specific location, like California, okay, state level or state level, yes, or county level, okay. If you convert it to a global scene, that will give you a globe, like the migration, the pattern we see last time, okay. So this is how you convert it, okay. After that, well, you visualize that as the 3D, and that will give you this, okay. And then you can play with it. Yeah, you can change the symbology, you can change the color, and many things. Okay, so you can see ArcGIS. They really work on those, you know, very cool, actually complicated visualization in their software. So still, it's quite complicated, right? If you want to do this in QGIS, I had a hard time to find the plugin. I find one that is called GPX-3D. GPX-3D. Do I have something open? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So here, I didn't find the one work for 3D, the 3.14, the version. There's a version called GPX to SpaceTimeCube, this one. I found it on Twitter, actually. You can visualize, you know, convert your GPX, like Hunter, his biking sites, right? You can visualize at the curve. That's loaded. Within this LA County, this space. So let's wait. Here we go. Come on. Come on. By the way, Anita is a main developer for QGIS, actually. Yeah, so something like this. Something like this. So you can see this is a latitude, this is longitude, and you know, the time. You know, time is the third dimension. So for example, imagine this is Hunter. He rode his bike, you know, across LA at different time. You can pop your trail up, you know, to show this SpaceTimeCube. But I tried to download it. It's only work for QGIS 2 point something version. It doesn't work for 3 point something. So that's the thing. If you have more other if you spot any plugin we can use, please share. Let's see. Cool. Okay. Yes. So this is one thing you can use. But in QGIS, you can just go with the symbology. Let me show you another one. Oh. Do you see my QGIS?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. So this is the one I think I created in spring for my GIS23 class. So I use this very interesting, you know, symbol. It's called spark line. Spark line to show the trend, how the case change over time by different counties in QGIS. Okay, so you can see if you zoom in to Bay Area, this is for San Mateo. Okay. You can see it's like this, okay? But for LA, it's really a outlier. You can see LA is here. This will require some coding. So here you can see I have basically 2 layers, the same layer. One thing is the grade, the county polygons you see down here. And on the top, I have the same layer, but I use those lines to show people the case change. Okay, so magic happen in this layer. Go to properties. You will have the symbology, okay? And you can see I have a lot of layers on this symbology. First, I want to have a simple marker. Simple marker is what you see here. Let me change the color to maybe purple. Apply. Yes, so you can see, so Sierra, let's go to Sierra. You can see that is where the line starts, okay? That's located in different county, okay? And then I have another layer to show the lines. For this one, you want to use this one, geometry generator. So you can generate a geometry like a column, like a line based on your data. So you can see in this case, I have the data from January all the way to April, I think, at that time. Okay, and then you can generate this spark line to show how things change. Okay, so this will require some, you know, coding. So you can see here, I basically use, I think this is Python in QGIS, okay, to, you know, tell QGIS how I want to generate this, you know, the symbol. Okay, so it's possible to do that in QGIS, but again, as you see many times, it requires some coding, some actual work. Okay, it's unlike, you know, ArcGIS, you can just you know, click a button and you will get a job done. Any questions, guys? I'm sorry, it's very fast.
Will you show the thing when you can like move like a timeline and it goes like a video, like you can change the.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In ArcPro, in QGIS, you can search for the plugin called animation. So you can you know, make your map as a, you know, MP4, the video file, and then you can show the animation. Actually, last semester we have a student. He created a map to show the sea level change over time for LA, you know, and then he used the animation. But at that time, the animation is run very, very slow. The rendering doesn't work very well. So that is another thing. I don't want to use animation. Okay, and for QGIS, you also have the animation, I think. Animate QOSM is another one. Oh, I believe there's a one you can create animation for QGIS. Okay. Okay, all right, okay. Again, another thing very quick, that is our story map. Oh, actually one more thing, this one. This one is the flow map. You know, last time we learned the flow map, right? Okay, this actually show you the education, the federal level, the funding, how they were distributed, how they are distributed from DC to other states. So how you create those flow lines. You can see those flow lines, very interesting, right? It's sort of like a river. It's sort of like a river, right? Okay, and then this red line, that is your barrier. You don't want to, you know, cross, you know, overlay your lines with this barrier. Okay, so you can create some barrier, okay, to, you know, guide your rivers, your flow lines, just avoid me, okay? And also those buffers for different state capital, also, I don't want to overlap my lines with those capital city, the buffer, okay? So there's a tool in Arc Pro called FLD, Flow Line Distributive, okay? Flow line. Yeah, flow line. Flow line distributive. Where it is? Oh, distributive, sorry, distributive beauty. Where it is? Anyways, I used that yesterday. Okay, anyways, I didn't find it here. Something wrong with my Arc Pro, but let me share with you the blog I discovered. Okay, so it should be this one. Okay, to the chat box. They updated, I think in 2018 for the new version. Maybe I need to go to the chat. Distributive flow line, okay, tool. This is the blog post, okay, made by the author of this tool. So in Arc Pro, like QGIS, they have a lot of developers to develop those, you know, the tool set that will be in your toolboxes. So you need to install that plugin. Okay, I need to install that plugin, and then like they can show up in my, you know, QGIS Arc Pro the toolboxes, and you can use it. Okay, so each tool you see here actually is a Python code, Python program. Okay, so that is how ArcGIS grow their toolboxes. Okay, but they have more strict, you know, criteria, okay, to which tool can be incorporated in your the commercial version, the finished up the version of Arc Pro. Okay, so you can see this is basically the script. It's the script. Okay, all right. So that blog post actually did a great job to explain how to use those barriers, how to create those flow lines. So if you need it, okay, if you need it in your project, maybe in the future, archive it, bookmark it, okay, I think it's a very useful way to show. For example, you want to show migration, you want to show immigration for our country, right? You can use those tools to create it, okay? And you can also create 3D. How cool it is, okay? All right, so in the chat. Yeah, okay, so this is another one. Faye shared the the same way. Yes, check it out, guys. I will check it out too. Okay, distributive. Yes, 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 the same thing. Yes, okay, same guy. Okay, all right. Okay, last thing, very quick. I probably don't have time to go through the story map, okay? But here, this is the, you know, copy. Let me go to the chat box. Okay. This is the story map, the overview. So let's go there. So, well, especially for the time, the theme, how things change. Like Ira said, we could use the animation. Or how about a story map? How about, you know, tell the story. And while telling the story, you allow people to read your map. Okay, so let me show you one example. Okay, so this is the, you know, the entrance, okay, the gateway for your story map. You can click on this link to launch your ArcGIS story map. But I want to show you this specific template. Okay, Cascade. It's especially useful for your time data. Okay, let's see here. Okay, story map Cascade. This page show you two examples. One is the uprooted, show you the refugee, the migration in, you know, around the Mediterranean Sea. So let's see, read this one. Okay, and the other one basically is the wealth divides, explore the spark dividing lines between rich and poor in American cities. Okay, let me share this link with you and you can explore on your end. Okay, Cascade template. Yes, so you can see in a story map, it's very powerful actually. You can insert like video, like animation, like even people's tweets, people's tweets, and your narrative into this story map. Okay, so you can see I have pictures, right? I have pictures. I also have the charts. Okay, and then you can move your chart. You can have some, you know, floating text, right? And then to lead people how to read those charts, how things change over time. Okay, and you can see here, this probably is the map for refugee. It's loaded. Okay, this for Syria, I think. Come on. Number of refugees. Okay, let's stop. Let's put it here. So basically here is loading. What is loaded? What is being loaded? That is a map you made. You made. Okay, where those maps hosted? Where those maps? Where they? They're in your ArcGIS Online account. Okay, so you basically pull the map you made already. You store that in the ArcGIS Online, and you can insert right here. You can see this is the refugee map by country of origin. Okay, oh, I think for Africa, this part. Okay, and the Middle East, this part. Okay, and then you can show people, you can guide people's eyes. You can see here, I want to highlight those places, especially for Syria. So you can see how cool this font is. You can label your font like this. It's amazing, right? Okay, and then you can see this the flow map. Okay, this one I think is just a, you know, image, but you can also use, you know, distributive, the functions, the tools I just shared with you to make a map and publish that to ArcGIS Online, and you can import it. Okay, you can insert your map right here and allow people to explore. Okay, All right, so there's a, you know, for Iran, Pakistan, and other different countries. And you can have your narrative on the sides, and you can, you know, include, you know, very striking pictures to show people the situation here. Okay, so this basically is the idea how you use the story map to lead your audience to read your story. And I think it's a very powerful tool, especially when you have some, you know, time, you want to guide, you are like a tour guide, right? For your, guide your audience to read your map. So this is I think this is a very useful tool for that kind of project. Okay, how to do that? Today we probably don't have time to show how to create a base map, how to create a story map here. But let me quickly show you. First, you want to sign in to your ArcGIS account. Okay, and then you will have a bunch of, you know, the data layers, right? Okay. Let's see here. And then you open it on the ArcGIS Online viewer, and you choose to share those maps. Okay, this is always my way, you know, to, oh, I have some, okay, here we go. My way to, you know, get into story map here. So let me show you here. Come on, come on. All right, so you can see here, I can go to my content, my profile. Oh, it's on the top, sorry. Okay, let me go back. It loaded again. But on the top, on the ribbon, you see that earlier there's a content. Okay, let's see, my content. You click on this one, and that will have all the layers, all the maps you have made. Okay, in Pro, well, you made your map, and you basically published that to ArcGIS Online. In your lab 3 or 4, you did that, right? Okay, so you can see I have my maps. Okay, so for example, I have something. So let's just click on this Republican affiliation, copy this one. Okay, and then some maps I made, and then you can choose to open that in the map viewer. Okay, and then you can share, guys. You can share the map. Okay, share the map. Come on. Okay, all right. Okay, so here you want to share that, you know, create a web app. Okay, web app. And here you can have your story map. Okay, you can use your story map, and then that will launch your story map, that platform, and then you can create your stories. You can insert your text, you can insert many things. And here, what you see here, that is different template you can use. So for example, Richard project is to have a, you know, the Noir tour for Santa Monica, right? You may want to use this one, the short story map short list, or you have the, you know, the here story map tour. So basically you will have the picture. You can see, you can have a preview. Okay, you can have a picture for each stop you want people to see, you can show people the stories at that stop, and then that will correspond with the point on your map, basically. Okay, yes, so this is a very useful tool, fancy way. And you can see this one for Lauren's map. Lauren want to show the before and after the amusement park was abandoned, right? So you may want to use this story, this template called map swipe and spy glasses. So basically allow you to swipe back and forth, you know, preview, okay? Swipe back and forth, you know, compare before and after. Or you have a spy glasses, like a magnifier, the glass. You can move around to show, okay, previously it's like this, and after that is like that, okay? So this is the tour. You can see the Palm Springs, okay? You can go different places, okay, to show people what's happening over there, okay?
Is all of this free? Is it always free, or?
It's free. It's free.
Huh. Cool.
Yeah, you can use that. You can also, you know, if you know some coding, you can also customize your own template by using JavaScript. They have, so you can see this is the back and forth thing. Okay. Yeah, so this Houston, what? This is the diabetes rates and adult obesity rates. So let's see. What's happening here? Not sure, but let's see. Anything changed?
Still incorporating the map you shared.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just share one map, so that is the thing I just show. But you could display one map on the left, the other map on the right, and then you will have this slider, you know, to show people before and after the change. Yeah. Okay, so sorry, I went very, very fast, but sort of like show you the idea, what are the options you can make to tell this story. Like we said many times, I think I borrowed the idea from Richard. Map is the story. Map, you want to, especially as a cartographer, you want to guide your audience to read your map, right? So story map is a very powerful tool, okay, to share a story. And also your audience are guided, you know, like me as a teacher, I always want to guide my student, okay, follow me, okay, let's go read this story, and then you will get this idea, okay? So this is a very good tool you could use for your final project or presentation if you want, okay? All right, so let me stop here. Any questions? Okay, I will make sure to share those links with you. Okay, so this is a cascade. Okay, share that one. And here, sorry guys, there is a list created by Duke University. Duke University, the library. So they have a very good summary on all the, you know, the story map, the template you could choose. Okay, I think it's a very good summary to help you get the entire thing. Okay. The web lists. Let's see. Yes, so check it out. Or if you don't use that for this project, definitely archive it in for the future. Okay, so you can see multiple maps, comparison over the time, and many other things. Okay, so this is a very good, you know, like a table of content you could use. Okay, can we do a story map for one of our five? Yes, you can. You can use story map for your thematic map. Okay, you're going to produce two maps. One is your base map, your reference map, right? There's no specific theme going on that map. And the other one is your thematic. Story map is especially useful for your thematic map, okay, to tell the stories. Okay, yes. All right, okay, so we probably will, you know, run a little bit over time today because we have the the CartoTalk, our very last CartoTalk. So let's see. But if you have to go, feel free. I will, because our lecture is recorded, and you can see people's presentation later, okay, if you need. So here, let's see, who is going to present today? Okay, I see Brenda, Lorenzo, probably he's not here, and Jade. Jade, you presented already or no?
Not yet, not for the CartoTalk.
Okay, and also Adore, Hunter, and Diana. Okay, all right. So, oh, and also, yeah. Okay, Hunter told me he's ready. So how about Hunter? You go first.
Alrighty.
Okay. Yes.
This one. Sure. Okay. See it?
It's loading. Here we go. Yes. Yes, I like this map.
Yes. So hello, I'm Hunter, and today the map I will be presenting is its official title is the Residential Security Map of Los Angeles and vicinity, but it's often just called the redlining map of Los Angeles because of what I'll explain about its historical significance. So this map was created in 1939, September 30th, by the Homeowners Loan Corporation, which was created by Franklin Delano Roosevelt for in response to the Great Depression. So the Homeowners Loan Corporation, what they did is that when someone was about to like lose their home due to foreclosure because they wouldn't be able to pay for it, they would buy the government would buy the home for them and like give a loan to the owner of the home so that they could keep living in it. And this was like a continuation of government policy to encourage single family home ownership. But the thing was, the reason why these maps, because these maps were created for every single city in America, not just Los Angeles. These residential security maps or redlining maps were important because if the Homeowners Loan Corporation, how they determined if they were gonna buy your home or not, if it was like financially secure, was by creating these maps and grading your home. So basically, if you lived in the green area, that means you lived in a really, really good area. Blue, not so good. Yellow, like really, really not so good. And then red was the worst. And one of the defining criteria for if you lived in a good or bad area was the race in the area. So specifically, if there were any foreign-born or African-American people who lived in the red areas, they would deny, the government itself would deny loans to for the people to keep their houses, which is why it's called redlining, because the red areas were the worst areas that you could be in. So to explain the grading, the first grade was defined as homogeneous, in demand during good times or bad. Grade B was still good, but not what people wanted as much. Grade C, becoming obsolete or expiring restrictions, meaning that back then, homes would often have wording in the covenants, like a covenant on the deed of the house, meaning that even if like you already bought your house and you wanted to sell your house to someone who is African American, if the deed of the home had a covenant, you legally could not sell the home to someone who's African American. So if the homes did not have that, they would get a third grade, and then fourth grade was really for areas near industrial, or if it was not that built up area, or if it had, you know, non-white residents in the area. So that's most of the history behind it. So the people who would use these maps would be the banks and the federal institutions at the time. So this map was not for public consumption. Often there were only 50 to 60 copies of each map made to distribute around government offices around the country. And then only sometimes would private lenders, bank lenders be able to see them. But often the homeowners loan corporation would just give banks the criteria to make their own maps, which would often result in the same maps, but not quite the same. So if you can see just by how detailed these maps are, these maps were huge. Like they would probably be kept on the wall or a huge table, so that when a banker got an application for a home that was being foreclosed, they could they could really look into the small little areas and determine if they wanted to save that house or not. And this is not actually the only map for LA. So if you see on the side, there are these numbers and letters. So this map would connect up with a bunch of other maps to create another full view of the area. And you would line them up based on these letters and numbers on the side. This one, the one I'm showing mostly being the map sheet number 1, but it will go up, yeah, this is 1, and then that's A, and then it'll go all the way down. So what else? So these maps were used for about 1/3 of homes in the 1940s. So one third of every home was in America, not just the South, was segregated based on race back in the 40s by the government. And also when the lender would look at the specific area, you see these circles with letters and numbers. So the letters would be relating to the grade. So A, B, C, D. So like red for D, yellow for C, and then the number for what specific area. So if they could look at the area that someone lived in, and those letters and numbers would correspond to an area card. So for example, the neighborhood I live in, an area description file. So hold on. So for example, the area I live in, they would have each of these little files for every single neighborhood on the map. And they would describe the average price, describe what kind of buildings, who live there. And for example, in my area, my area gets yellow grade because there were, quote, Jewish families living in my area. So they would, so it's very obvious that they would discriminate based on race. And also they did not like apartment buildings, because apartment buildings were more affordable. Therefore, people of lower class could live in apartment buildings. To more of the design of the map though, the colors, like the biggest part of the map that people would want to look at, the coloring, the grading, is very obvious against the black and white base map of the background. But one thing that I don't like about the grading system is that it makes sense with red being the worst and green being the best, but I don't think that the blue really makes sense, because in like how colors relate to each other on the color wheel, I think it would make more sense if it was red, orange, yellow, green, instead of having the blue. So I would change that. Also, for the sparsely built up, it says 1 lines going across, and then commercial, it's 2 lines going across. So like commercial areas are very built up. Sparsely built up, of course, is not built up at all. And I think they're kind of similar in how they look, even though they're very different sorts of areas. And since they're marked like that, in the commercial areas, you can barely see like the streets and the street names and all that, because the lines are going over everything. Other things. Oh, and also the fonts, it basically uses the same font throughout the map, same serif font. I don't know what it is because it's made in the 30s. Very, not really like popping, because it's a government map, so not really meant to be that pretty. It's just meant to be useful, and you can read it really fast. Except for the title, they do just a little bit of flair on the title just to make it more obvious where it is. Oh, for the oil fields, they have these like little bushes right here, and over here as well. And it's very similar to how they marked the parks. It's like little bushes and dots as well. And I mean, it's not like somebody would look at this map to see what park to go to, but it's still really similar in how they marked it, and it's like very different things. So they have even if you couldn't tell that it was in LA, they have a little smaller, bigger map of Los Angeles on the top, and it shows. So this is the map sheet 1, and it shows map sheet 2, 3, and 4 there as well, just to show you like what other maps you could connect up to it. I don't like this map inset. It's weird because it's really small, and they just could have made another map sheet for it, but instead they like smushed it in between the title and the north arrow, and it's just really small, and it doesn't really need to be there in my opinion. Oh, and for the projection isn't listed anywhere on it, but if you notice, I noticed while looking between this map and the digitized map over here, that if you look carefully, if I switch between them, this map is a little bit smaller longitudinally than how the actual like shape of like an actual map is, because when they digitized the map, they matched it up with a more accurate map, and it's just like this area. If you look at this area right here to the right, you'll see that it's longer north to south when they corrected it by longitude. So I don't know, maybe because it was a bit too big of a map, I guess, and they wanted to make it smaller to fit it on walls and tables. And back to this area, I think it's in a weird area. It's like in the title's in the bottom left. So it like you don't really look at this area when you first look at the map. And just, I don't know why they couldn't, I think they should have put this little map down here under the inset and put the title and the legend of where this geographic context is. There is no grid or graticule. They just have the north arrow, but it's in a typical orientation. So I think it's fine that they have a little tiny north arrow. The scale, I think they should have put the scale at the bottom of the legend rather than at the top. But the units make sense because like you have to go the lenders at the time would have to use really, really small measurements to use lending decisions. And the legend, it's kind of disgusting because it says legend at the top, not like, I think it should have said like the area classifications or the grading rather than just saying legend. One thing that the legend does not explain is the little numbers and letters, the area description file things. And they should have explained that in the legend, I think, because I had to look that up later and see what these letters and numbers meant. And the stars too. I still don't know what these stars mean. They're like placed all over the map. Oh yeah, production. So yeah, it was produced by the homeowners. It was made by the Homeowners Loan Corporation, but it was published by, let me go to the other map, the digitized map. So it was published by the Thomas Guides company of the Thomas brothers. So on the bottom map with San Pedro, it lists who published it. So they were based in San Francisco, and the owner at the time, which it has the copyright in the bottom right, was George Coupland Thomas. So has the copyright right there. And I believe that's it. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for this such a thorough exploration on this map. It's amazing. Yes. And we have a few questions for you in the chat box. One thing is from Richard. Could you provide us a link to download this map?
Yeah, I can link you to
yeah, share that with
this
us.
digitized map. This map is the most useful since you can click on your whatever area and it can show you descriptions and stuff. I'll send that link.
Okay. Yeah, and I think there's a website you can download actually shapefile already. I had a student, her name is Petra. She actually used the digitized version, in Actral and overlay to explore how this 1930, 1940, the city planning affect us, the current LA, the greenness, so how many trees you see in each category. So last year we have for the GIS day, she shared that map with us, and then we see those lower grade, those districts, because the city planning, they actually have less number of trees. The living environment in those areas still very poor. So you can see how the city planning still affecting LA people now. Okay, it's very cool. So let me find that map. I will share that with you. And thank you, Hunter. Yeah, this is just such a powerful map. Yes.
This map, the website too, it's not just LA, it's like every city in America, they digitized the maps. So for example, like New York, I don't know, they have every single map of every single major American city in the 1930s on this website that you can look at. It takes a while to load though, there's so much information.
Interesting map, yes. So what about the area in white that is in the legend, that is undeveloped the area? And a few very interesting observation from Ira. Is there a breakwater in Santa Monica?
Yeah,
Yeah, and
breakwaters.
William said there used to be a wharf there, and some fish canals.
With the white parts, with the undeveloped parts, you can really see what areas were built after 1939, especially LAX. Like, look how small LAX was back then, and now it's just all of this. And this blue area right here that existed in 1939 actually does not exist anymore because LAX bought all the homes right there and kicked everyone out.
Yeah.
And it used to be called Cliffridge.
Eviction.
Yeah.
Not exactly, but yeah. Okay. Yeah, I saw this map before, but I didn't, pay attention to the oil fields. I like the swamp, the icon they put there for the oil fields, and the way they label the universities, here La Jolla University. Yes. Yes, it's they put some a lot of consideration how to play those labels. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so any other comments and questions? All right, good job, Hunter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Jade, are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, can you see the map?
Yes.
Okay, so the map I'm going to share today is a map about India and the Silk Road made by Giovanni Francisco. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but because he's Italian, and yeah, and it's made by made in 16th century, yeah, and so the reason I choose this map is because it's very detailed, and I like all the design. I think it's very pretty. And also because this map is based on the information from the Portuguese, so most of the city and the highlight area, for example, this kind of highlight areas are how to say, it's like the Portuguese they like to make business from this area, like the Portuguese like to go. And here, and I like how they label this areas that are very interesting, because, for example, this one is St. Thomas, where he died and buried. And here, this is the area that the diamond, what's the biggest diamond, like where the biggest diamond found, yeah, here. And yeah, I also I feel like most of the ancient map are always having those creatures. I think that's very interesting too. And this, I think this is the legend. It has who made the map and the scale bars too.
Is that the equator?
Yeah, I think, yeah, this is the scale bar. And this is maybe, yeah, I don't know, because this is very old map, and probably it's different, different from nowadays, I think. Do we put this on map now?
Not
sure. This area, this.
I don't know. You got cut it earlier, and then your voice is not smooth. I don't know what's your question.
Oh, yeah. So I'm not sure. Are we no? Do we use this put in our map
so talking
nowadays?
about this scale bar.
Yeah, I'm not sure because here has a scale. This is the scale bar too, right? Yeah. So I feel like here 1 and 2. So I'm not sure what if this is the scale bar or this one is the scale bar. So
yeah, I think this is the scale bar for this map, and I think above there, because they have different resolution and different level of details, I think they probably have different scale bar.
Maybe.
But Jade, let me ask you a question. Okay, we feel confused about this map, to be honest. Yes, so what this map is about? This is the thing you missed, yes.
So this map is about India and the Silk Road.
So it is the, what's the purpose to make this map? For any map, right, we need to define what's the purpose to make this map? Just to show off, I can draw those mountains, or?
I think because at that time, most like the Portuguese, they have a lot of business, like business trip to India, to the east. And the Italian, they but this map is made by so I think it's for the Italian, like normal people, but because since they don't know nothing about the East, the cartographer, he just made this map. It's not for the business, I think, because I didn't find the Silk Road. I feel like this is just a map about India. I don't see the Silk Road.
Yeah. Okay, Paula wants you to make the zoom in a little bit so we can read the box here. Yes.
Here?
Yeah, this one. I don't know anything. Oh, down here. Yeah, this one.
Oh, here?
Yeah, I don't know Italian, but maybe some people, they know. People in our class, they know. Yes.
I think this is the artist, Giovanni Francisco. Yeah.
But very cool font typefaces. Yes.
Yeah, I just feel like this map is very detailed, and I like the art.
Okay, could you share with us the link so that we can explore more? Maybe they have more descriptions up there so we can know the purpose.
Yeah, here, let me show you. There's a description.
Yeah.
But very general.
Okay, could you help us to find more descriptions on this map?
I didn't find I just see it here. I couldn't find more information about this. But this is from the Google, the kind of like museum stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so let's explore. Okay, I see your internet is not that good, so.
Yes. Yeah, my internet is not very good. I don't know why. Sometimes I can hear you guys too.
Okay, so share the link with us so people can use your map to write out their CartoTalks, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Jade. Let's see. Let's stop share. Yes. Okay, so let's go to the next. Brenda, are you ready?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
Share. I don't know how to do this. I only use Discord. I have no idea how to use this. I'm sharing my screen.
Right, you share the screen with us.
Yes, okay.
Okay, there we go.
Can you see my map by any chance? Or can you see it?
Yeah.
Or is it?
Yes.
Okay. So I found this map just browsing through Pinterest and trying to get ideas for my map. This is just a basic land cover map of North America, but it's really detailed. I just feel like it's too much detailed. That some I'm gonna start first with like the actual like title, and then I'm just gonna go down. So the title, it doesn't take over the whole map, so like it's not prominent. The main focus is on North America itself. The legend is subdivided into climate regimes, and every single one of them it goes from like, I guess, from north to south. So it goes polar, subpolar, temperate, and then you end up with tropical. Just like much of how the US, I mean not the US, but North America is divided. You have all the other land cover types under other water bodies. I don't know what else I could say about this map. It's really well made. It's representative of what it should show. I have no issues with it. The only other problem I have is just too busy on the bottom. The information like the data sources and the projection and the scale should be moved more towards the right side to make it more, I guess, less busy, less, I don't know how to say this, but like it's just too much for my eyes. Just go through every single one of the out of the legend lists. It's just very self-explanatory map. It's really well made. I like it.
Okay, critiques, guys. Okay. Paula said, I think the legend should be more condensed.
Yeah, that's the problem that I had with it, was it needed to be more condensed. A lot of the oranges and the yellows, for my eyes, it was just too much, and it all looked the same at one point.
Here, the legend from Narita is too much. And from Hunter, why Alberta boundary is highlighted?
Oh, because it was actually made from data for the atlas. Okay, so where I found this was on Pinterest, but it was linked into the global, oh my God, the Global Forest Watch from Canada.
Okay, so I actually have some problem about that. So you can see the title is the land cover of North America, but Canada got cut off.
Yes.
And they show
I think the main
Mexico
focus was
and the Latin America.
Yeah, so from my understanding, it was to show the whole land cover, but they just wanted to primarily, if they wanted to primarily focus on Alberta, they should have done like Alberta, Canada, instead of showing all of North America. If the report that it was under, it was for just Alberta, Canada, and they're diminishing forest boundaries.
Okay. Well, I'm confused about that. If you want to highlight Alberta,
yeah,
you probably want to, you know, make it centralized in your map instead of, you know, putting up. Without looking at the title, my first impression about this map is it want to show me mainly want to show me the land cover of North of United States and Mexico.
Yeah, I think that's one of my critiques too. It's like, okay, so if you want to show me Alberta, Canada, why is it so up high? And do you really need to show me Mexico and the United States in that regard? You could have just done Canada by itself and a little bit of the United States.
Yes, and Ira said, well, for this kind of map, we probably cannot, condense information too much because our land cover is so diverse. And Ben have the same feeling. Yeah, way too much information. And Hunter said water bodies should be same color as ocean, maybe. What do you think?
But those are inland water bodies.
Yeah, inland water bodies, maybe we can have the different color. And Narita said, yeah, the legend is a little bit too much. And Hunter said,
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
a little bit. Just.
I think, I think it's okay because, like Ira said, we really have no choice. You have, if you look at the NLCD, National Land Cover data set, NLCD, that data from USGS, you see actually our legend, we have so many different types, and you actually want to include them all in your map. So that's a challenge. You could place that in a second page, like a brochure. You have a one map on one side and your legend on the other side. And actually this map did a great job to, arrange those map elements. We have a huge ocean down there. So maybe, yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is like, maybe just put a legend somewhere else.
Yeah, but I don't like they show a lot about, South America. So down there, you can see a huge portion about South America. It's a waste of space, I think. And Paula said the data source could be smaller. And William said, I had a land cover file that has 584 classes. Yes, you got it.
Yes, I think I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, but I think my main problem about this map is the focus, the mapping area, because this North America, it's make me really uncomfortable to see Canada cut, in half.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. Okay, any other things you want to share? Oh, it's up there. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. It's just I had to zoom it in because my screen is really, really small.
Then I want to roll back. I don't have that critique anymore. Okay, maybe zoom in.
North America.
Yes. Yes.
Sorry about that.
Okay, no worries. No worries. Okay, all right, so here people, if your map is like Brenda, the map Brenda shares with us, have a very weird, I'm saying weird, mapping area, the size, you want to change your page, the size. So in Pro, if you go to the layout, you actually can customize your page size. You don't have to just use A4 or A3, those template. You actually can define the width and the height of your map page. So if that is the case, you need to change, you can go to your layout. There's a page setup. You can change that. Okay. Or when you first choose your page size, there's at the very bottom, you have your customize your page size. Okay. All right. Good. Good. Thank you, Brenda.
No problem.
Okay. So let's see. Diana, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Diana. Ooh, whoa.
Okay. So what you have here is a map of it was actually done by it wasn't done by Ulysses S. Grant himself, but it was done by one of his commanders in hand, and it shows the siege of Vicksburg. Vicksburg was probably one of the hardest places that Ulysses himself had to overtake, just because this is where Robert E. Lee really realized that Ulysses S. Grant was just as powerful as he thought he was himself. But the problem with the map is that the first time that they tried to overtake Vicksburg, it wasn't a success, which was back in August, I believe. So what you see here is more like a dumbed down map. So they wanted to really understand what their surrounding was, because what they realized was obviously they have the Mississippi River here. And they realized that a lot of their soldiers who they had in their command were dying off from either, I think from hypothermia around this area. So that's where they couldn't get to Robert E. Lee specifically and his troops. So you're missing a lot of like the strategic planning within like showing more of these lines, which the red symbolizes Lee's army, and then I believe the purple was what symbolized Ulysses S. Grant and how they would overtake Vicksburg. But again, you're missing like a legend and everything, and it's more of a dumbed down map compared to others that have been out there before, or compared to the one in August. I mean, eventually they end up, I believe, taking over Vicksburg, but just with the map being represented here, it doesn't really give that whole meaning of them having that victory. Instead, it's more like I like to call it a coloring book drawing. And it was just all shaded in, and then that's my biggest issue, because you're not seeing the glory that they had or like the power. Instead, you're just seeing a map with like the Mississippi River right there, and then that's pretty much it. That's the map that I have.
Thanks. And William said John Wesley Powell might have made this map. He was a part of cartographer, military engineer.
Yes, I think so. I saw his name pop up, and I should have probably said that, but I know that, yeah, because they just had passed a whole docuseries on him, and they brought this map back up, but I didn't like how they like to use this one to represent their battle. I liked one from before, but they don't show the one from before just because it was spelled horribly. So they rather, I guess, not talk about that than actually show like a great process map, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think this map it's very interesting. It's like a pen. At my first glance, and also I see just from cartography wise, they have a lot of generalization happening on this map. You can see those land is sort of like tortilla chips or something.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, it's the thought that counts, that they actually try to put in their full effort for it. But again, I feel like they could have done a lot more with like the resources that, or like brains that they were provided with making this map.
But this watercolor is so beautiful. You can see they shade the side, and then in between you have this relatively light color. It just makes this like watercolor, the river. I really like it. It's for me, it's more like a paint, like a picture. It's less. Well, it's a map, but it's more like a graphic. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, graphic presentation. Yes. Okay. Any other things you want to share? You want to talk? Critiques?
Could I show the other map quickly?
Yeah, sure, of course. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me see.
I know who will love this map, John Nelson. Because I see on his blog and also his YouTube channel, he actually wants to mimic all these color patterns. Definitely check it out. It's a very, very useful hacks and tips, can make your map, stand out, different from others. Yes.
Do you see this one?
Yeah, beautiful. Oh my gosh.
So I believe this is the one back from August when they failed at first. But what I really do appreciate about this is they're more like appropriate standing like on the land here, along with like the trails that Lee's army went through and then what Ulysses' army went through. I feel like that's a lot more clear to me compared to the other one, which is just you see the river and then that's pretty much it. But it really goes to show like the tremendous like ways they ended up going through just to get to each other and like their meeting points and so on. So I feel like this one I appreciate a lot more. So if they would have done this map with their victory, I think it would have been like a whole different story for me.
I have to say, it's amazing terrain map.
Yeah.
It's just so amazing. And you can see at that time, we don't have Arc Pro. They basically draw those shadows by hand using pencils. And you really see that 3D effect, the shadow, the, you know, the hue shade pop up. It's amazing. Oh my gosh.
So for the first map, was that one done during the battle and this one's after the battle?
No, so this one was done during their first battle, I believe, in August. No one really won. There was just a bunch of deaths in that battle. So this was their first strategic plan, was to kind of, hold on, let me try to move it, was to try to get Lee's army here by surprise. So they had to go through a forest, but what they didn't realize was that the forest really just ended up attacking all of them. So then they went back, I believe, and then they strategized all over again. And then that's when they brought out the other coloring book map. And it was just, again, a more simplified way for them to really understand and just point out like their main points compared to doing all of this all over again. I do know that they used some of their material or like plans from the previous battle, but they decided to just lay out the other one. And I know that at that time, Ulysses was feeling pressured by Lincoln, just because Lincoln was getting close to his election or re-election, and he had told them by that point that he needed this win. If not, then it would just kind of all go to waste. Yeah, but I love this one compared to the other one.
What's the you know, here on the side? It's the cross section of the terrain.
Where?
The side, this one.
This one.
You know, here it looks like it's a, you know, cross the profile of the terrain profile, right? It's the mountains, like cross section.
I believe so.
Profile line, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, what I want to say is cut the land, you know, along certain route, certain trail. That is elevation gain and loss when you go along that line. It's called profile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow,
So,
they even have the trees here.
And like you had to, at that point, didn't have like ArcGIS or like anything like that to use this. So
beautiful. Yeah, what a treat for eyes. Yes.
Yeah.
Good. I know Narita probably like this. Narita is making a map for the Cross Baja biking trail. So Narita, go for it. Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Any other things you want to say about this map? It's just so beautiful. Thank you, Diana.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right. So Eduardo, are you here? Okay. Lorenzo not here. Okay, I think that's it. That's it. That's it for today's CartoTalk. And people, please, my dears, please share your map with me, and I will put it in our Google, the shared folder, so people can take a look at it. And when they write their CartoTalk reflection, okay, make sure send that to me. Okay, and well, this I don't want to end our class because this is the last class meeting for this semester. Okay, I feel so sad, but bittersweet. I want to thank everyone for your participation and being in this class. I wish I could tell you how I appreciate you guys in this class. Best class ever. Then thank you for making my summer 2020 so wonderful. I will remember this summer for my whole life. Seriously, from my bottom of my heart. Okay, there's such a difficult time. Yeah, well, this is such a difficult time for everyone, but you make my summer so happy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dan, yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, everyone. And again, tomorrow I will have my office hour, and also Saturday and Sunday if you want to meet with me. Okay, so definitely shoot me emails and canvas message. Okay, let's make appointment. Okay. All right. So you have my best wishes. You have my best wishes for the future, and Jean like maps, Jean like mapping, Jean like GIS. So in the future, if you have any interesting project, let me know if you think there's anything I can help with. Okay. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye.
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 Bye, guys.
Bye.